Hello and welcome to this powerful story of one of the greatest footballers of our time, Kylian Mbappe. In this video, you will not only learn about his inspiring journey, you will also improve your English listening and speaking skills. Because this story is told in simple, clear English, especially for English learners. So if you're someone who loves football, or someone who loves motivation, or you're just trying to get better at English, this video is for you. Stay till the end, because we'll go deep into every moment of his life, from childhood to becoming a global legend. Subscribe now if you want more powerful English practice and life-changing stories. Let's begin. Part 1. The beginning of a legend. The birth of Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe was born on December 20th, 1998, in a small town near Paris called Bondy. Bondy is not a rich place. It's full of small apartments, immigrants, and children playing football in the streets. This place made him tough. This place made him fast. This place made him different. Kylian wasn't born into money, but he was born into a family of sports warriors. Father, Wilfried Mbappe, a football coach, strict, passionate, focused. He trained kids in Bondy's local football club, including his own son. Mother, Faiza Lamari, a handball champion, strong, competitive, and determined. She played for the French national team. Brother, Jires Kembo Ekoko, his adopted older brother, a professional footballer too. Kylian watched him, learned from him, admired him. This wasn't just a house, it was a training ground. Kylian didn't just like football, he didn't just enjoy it, he lived football. He breathed football. He slept with a football. He studied Cristiano Ronaldo like a scientist studies the stars. When kids watched cartoons, Mbappe watched Ronaldo goals. On his bedroom wall, Ronaldo posters, on video games, always played as Ronaldo. In his mind, one day I will play with him or against him. That dream became his fuel. At age 4, Mbappe kicked his first ball. At 6, he joined the Bondy Football Club, where his father was the coach. Every day after school, he practiced. Not for 1 hour, sometimes for 4. He wasn't normal. He was faster, smarter, hungrier. He trained like his life depended on it, because deep inside, he believed it did. One coach said, "We knew this boy was special. He was already thinking like a professional at age 7. Kylian was not good in school. He didn't like to sit still. Teachers complained he was too energetic, too distracted. But his parents didn't punish him. They understood. His brain was made for movement, for tactics, for goals. Still, he had to face judgment. People said, "He's just fast. That's it. He won't make it. Only 1 in 1,000 kids do." That kind of talk hurts, but it didn't break him. It built him. At age 12, Kylian and his father took a long drive to Clairefontaine, France's elite football academy. It's like Harvard, but for future World Cup winners. He trained, he impressed, and then he got accepted. But there was a problem. Chelsea invited him for a trial. Real Madrid sent Zidane to meet him. PSG and other French clubs were ready to sign him, but his parents were afraid. He's still a child. We can't throw him into the world just yet. So he returned. Back to Bondy. Back to hard work. Back to training alone. He waited. And that waiting hurt. Because he knew he was ready. But the world wasn't ready for him yet. Finally, at age 14, he joined AS Monaco. When Mbappe joined AS Monaco at age 14, everything in his life changed. New city, new people, new expectations, new pressure, new routines, new fears. He left behind the familiar smell of his mother's cooking, the noisy Bondy neighborhood, the tight apartment, the friends he grew up with. Now he was in a quiet, rich, polished place. Monaco. It was beautiful. It was expensive. It was shiny. But for a young boy who came from the streets of Bondy, it was also overwhelming. Every morning, he woke up in a small academy room. A bed, a study table, a locker, no luxury, just silence and responsibility. His daily routine looked like this. 6:30 a.m., wake up. He wasn't a morning person, but discipline made him get up. 7 a.m., training session 1. Dribbling drills, speed drills, passing drills, running drills, technical drills. 9 a.m., school classes. Still hard for him, but he pushed through. 12 p.m., lunch, simple academy food. 2 p.m., training session 2. More intense, more challenging, more pressure. 6 p.m., gym work, strength training, balance, leg power, core work. 8 p.m., dinner. 9 p.m., football videos. He watched Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, Brazilian Ronaldo. He studied them like a scientist. 10 p.m., sleep. He slept tired, exhausted, but hungry for more. This was his life, day after day, week after week, month after month. Most teenagers lose motivation, focus, discipline, belief, patience. But Mbappe didn't. He had one quality, others didn't. Mental speed. Just like he was fast on the field. He was fast in the mind. He understood football in seconds. He saw spaces before they opened. He predicted movements. He reacted instantly. His coaches said, he has the brain of a 30-year-old player inside a 14-year-old boy. This was not normal. This was genius. One training session changed everything. A friendly match. Young players versus older players. Mbappe was just 14, but he destroyed everyone. He ran past defenders. He controlled the ball like glue. He scored. He dribbled. He smiled with confidence. He looked unstoppable. The academy director whispered, "This boy is not human." Word spread. The club started protecting him. They built a plan around him. But Mbappe didn't want protection. He wanted challenges. He wanted pressure. He wanted greatness. On December 2nd, 2015, at only 16 years and 347 days, Mbappe made his professional debut for Monaco. He became the youngest ever player in Monaco's history, beating Thierry Henry's record. This was special. But Mbappe wasn't satisfied. He said, "This is only the beginning. I want more." He was 16, speaking like a champion. The 2016-17 season came. He was now 17, still a child in age, but not in ability. He scored 26 goals. He won League One. He destroyed big European teams. Let's go deep. Europe wasn't ready. They didn't know Monaco had a weapon. Against Manchester City, round of 16, Mbappe scored, ran past defenders, looked fearless. Commentators around the world said, "Who is this boy?" Against Borussia Dortmund, quarter-final. He scored again. Fast, explosive, a human bullet. 3. Against Juventus, semi-final. Even though Monaco lost, Mbappe scored the only goal for his team. He looked like the future. In just a few games, he became viral on social media, European sensation, a target for big clubs, a dream for fans, a problem for defenders. He was no longer the boy from Bondy. He was the teenage superstar. Real Madrid called, Barcelona called, Manchester United called, Manchester City called. Every big club wanted him. But Mbappe wanted something else. He wanted to inspire France. He wanted to inspire Paris. He wanted to inspire kids who looked like him. He said, "I want boys in Bondy to know they can dream big." So he chose PSG, the club of his hometown. At 18 years old, he signed one of the world's biggest deals. But this wasn't about money. It was about identity, about purpose, about home. Coming back to Paris wasn't easy. He was no longer a small boy. People expected goals, magic, trophies, leadership, perfection. Every game felt like an exam, a test, a battle. But Mbappe delivered. He scored, he ran, he assisted, he inspired. He became PSG's brightest rising star. But he didn't know that something much bigger, much more powerful, much more historic was coming. At just 19 years old, Mbappe received the biggest call of his life. He was selected for the French national team for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. The whole world watched him walk with the team. A teenager, representing his country, carrying dreams of millions. People doubted him. But doubt is fuel for legends. Game after game, his speed shocked defenders. His confidence shocked fans. His maturity shocked experts. He wasn't just playing, he was performing. He was exploding. He was defining himself. He wasn't nervous. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't overwhelmed. He knew this was his moment. This was the match that changed everything. Imagine it. A teenager facing Lionel Messi's team in the biggest tournament on earth, with billions watching. And Mbappe put on one of the greatest teenage performances in World Cup history. What he did, he ran 70 meters in 7 seconds. He won a penalty. He scored 2 goals. He destroyed Argentina's defense. Commentators screamed, "This kid is unbelievable." The world finally understood. A new hero was born. On July 15, 2018, France faced Croatia in the World Cup final. Mbappe scored. He smiled. He lifted the trophy. He became the youngest player since Pelé to score in a World Cup final. A global superstar, a national hero, a symbol of hope, a dream for millions, a legend at 19. From a tiny apartment in Bondi to lifting the World Cup at 19. This is not normal. This is historic. Part 2. The weight of the crown. Life after the World Cup victory. After the World Cup in 2018, France welcomed Kylian like a national treasure. His face was on magazine covers. Fans screamed his name. Kids wore his jersey. Companies begged him for sponsorships. Cameras followed him everywhere. People wanted selfies, autographs, interviews. But Kylian didn't change. He didn't buy 20 cars. He didn't throw parties. He didn't lose focus. Instead, he said, "I'm not done. I want to be the best in the world." That is the difference between a star and a legend. After winning the World Cup, he didn't take a break. He got back to work. Every morning he woke up earlier. Every evening he stayed on the field longer. Every match he gave more than before. His daily routine after the World Cup: 6 a.m. wake up, 6:30 a.m. running and sprint drills, 7:30 a.m. gym, legs, core, balance, 8:30 a.m. ice bath and recovery, 9:30 a.m. breakfast, nutritionist-designed meals, 11 a.m. team training, PSG, 2 p.m. tactical meetings, video analysis, 4 p.m. rest and family time, 6 p.m. personal shooting practice, finishing drills, 8 p.m. dinner, high protein, no junk, 9 p.m. sleep. He didn't just want to be good, he wanted to be unstoppable. After the World Cup, Mbappe became one of the highest paid players in the world. He was now making millions of euros per year. But he didn't become arrogant. He still lived with his parents for a long time. He still cleaned his own boots. He still gave respect to coaches, drivers, and cleaning staff. He said, "I don't play for money. I play for history. This is why people admired him even more." But fame is like fire. It can warm you, or it can burn you. Suddenly, everyone had an opinion. Is he better than Neymar? Can he win the Ballon d'Or? Is he too confident? Why does he smile after missing goals? Is he bigger than PSG? Every mistake became a headline. Every argument became a rumor. This hurt Kylian. He was only 20, but the world was treating him like a king who must never fail. Kylian made one of the smartest decisions of his career. He hired a mental coach, someone who helps you train your mind like a muscle. The coach helped him. Stay calm under pressure. Focus only on performance. Silence the outside world. Avoid fights with media. Handle hate and jealousy. Build emotional control. He learned one of life's most important lessons. You don't have to answer every critic. Just let your success speak louder than your words. At PSG, he now played with giants. Neymar, Brazilian magician. Cavani, experienced striker. Di Maria, master of assists. Later, even Messi and Sergio Ramos joined. Imagine this. You're only 20, and your teammates are the players you once watched on TV as a child? It was exciting, but also difficult. There were egos, big salaries, clashes, expectations to win everything. Mbappe had to grow fast. He couldn't be just a fast kid anymore. He had to become a leader, and that's exactly what he did. Every year, PSG wanted to win the Champions League, the biggest club tournament in the world. Every year, Mbappe played with fire in his eyes. Every year, the world expected miracles from him. And yet, PSG lost. 2019, knocked out. 2020, reached the final, but lost to Bayern Munich. 2021, knocked out. 2022, knocked out. 2023, knocked out again. It was painful. Fans said, Mbappe deserves better. PSG is wasting his prime. But Mbappe didn't blame his team. He didn't cry on camera. He didn't throw tantrums. He just worked harder, trained harder, focused deeper. Most people don't know this. Kylian Mbappe is not just fast. He's extremely intelligent. He speaks fluent French, English, and Spanish. He reads books about leadership, psychology, business, sports science. He studies interviews of other greats, Federer, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams. He watches their habits. He applies their mindset. He once said, "To be great, you have to learn from greatness." Yes, he reads books, a lot of them. Here are some that inspired him. Relentless by Tim Grover, about Michael Jordan's mindset. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, mental toughness. Start With Why by Simon Sinek, purpose-driven life. Biographies of Cristiano Ronaldo and Pelé. He said, "My feet score the goals, but my mind prepares for war." Mbappe became the face of Nike, Hublot, Dior, FIFA, and EA Sports. He was on billboards in New York, Tokyo, Paris, and Dubai. But when he had free time, he didn't go to clubs. He didn't fly to private islands. He went back to Bondi, to his old field, to play with the kids, to inspire the next Kylian. One day a reporter asked him, "Why do you keep coming back here?" He smiled and said, "Because this is where my dream began. I owe everything to this place." Mbappe started a charity project called Inspired by KM, helping young kids in France to follow their dreams, get mentorship, stay away from crime, believe in education, believe in themselves. He doesn't just want to be a great footballer. He wants to be a great human being. As Mbappe became more powerful, rumors started to grow. He wants to be the boss. He doesn't pass to Neymar. He's jealous of Messi. He has control over the club. He chooses who takes penalties. Most of it was exaggerated, but yes, There were tensions, because great players equals big egos equals power struggles. Still, Mbappe stayed professional. He said, "We are here to win, not to become enemies." In 2020, France entered the Euro tournament as favorites. But disaster struck. France was knocked out in the round of 16, and Mbappe missed the final penalty. That miss was seen by millions. He received racist abuse online. He was humiliated. He was devastated. But instead of hiding, he stood up and said, "I failed. I accept it, but I will rise again." That's the mindset of a warrior. Mbappe was no longer just a boy with speed. He had become a thinker, a fighter, a leader, a symbol, a storm, a man. He faced fame, pressure, failure, hate. And yet, he rose above all of it. France was the defending champion. That means the whole world was coming to defeat them. Kylian Mbappe was now 23 years old. He was no longer the boy from 2018. He was now a leader, a global icon, one of the best players on earth, a target for every defender. The man everyone watched. This wasn't just a tournament. It was revenge. It was proof. It was a test of legacy. Unlike others, Mbappe didn't post flashy photos. He didn't do too many interviews. He didn't show off luxury vacations. He disappeared into discipline. He trained. He studied opponents. He visualized success. He had one goal. I want to win the World Cup again. I want to make history. No talking, just action. Before the tournament began, France suffered bad luck. Karim Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner, injured. N'Golo Kante, injured. Paul Pogba, injured. Presnel Kimpembe, injured. Christopher Nkunku, injured. The team was broken. Critics said, France will fail. They are finished. But inside the French camp, one man stood up. Kylian Mbappe. He told the team, "We don't cry, we compete." France was placed in Group D with Australia, Denmark, Tunisia. Let's go match by match. France versus Australia, 4-1. Mbappe was on fire. He didn't just score. He terrified defenders. 1 goal, 1 assist, constant danger. France won. Mbappe smiled, but he wasn't satisfied. France versus Denmark, 2-1. This match was tough. Denmark played with power, but Mbappe was unbreakable. He scored 2 goals. He ran with unstoppable speed. He carried France to victory. Commentators said, "This is not just a player, this is a storm." France versus Tunisia, 0-1. Mbappe was rested. France lost, but they were already qualified. He was watching, studying, waiting for the next war. Round of 16, France versus Poland, 3-1. This was the knockout stage. Every match now equals do or die. And Kylian Mbappe, he exploded. 2 goals, 1 assist, world-class finishes. He made goalkeeping legend Wojciech Szczęsny look helpless. FIFA posted, "Mbappe is on another level." Quarter-final, France versus England, 2-1. This was war. England had Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Jordan Henderson. It was a brutal match. Mbappe didn't score, but he dragged defenders, created space, and played with heart. Harry Kane missed a crucial penalty. France won, and the dream continued. Semi-final, France versus Morocco, 2-0. Morocco was the underdog story of the tournament, but France was focused. Mbappe was surgical. He didn't score, but he created chaos. He assisted. He ran like thunder. He broke the Moroccan defense. France was going to the final. This was it. Mbappe versus Messi. France versus Argentina. Speed versus magic. The new king versus the old king. Billions watched. The world stopped. Let's break it down, moment by moment. First half, Argentina dominates 2-0. France looked weak. Argentina was dancing. Messi scored a penalty. Di Maria scored a stunning goal. Mbappe was quiet. People thought, it's over, France is finished. But Mbappe was waiting. Second half, the comeback. At minute 80, France got a penalty. Mbappe stepped up. Goal, 2-1. Just 90 seconds later, Mbappe scored an incredible volley. Goal, 2-2. Commentators screamed, unbelievable, Mbappe has saved France. Extra time, the final twist. Messi scored again. 3-2. But Mbappe refused to lose. Minute 118, France wins another penalty. Mbappe steps up. Goal, 3-3. Hat trick in a World Cup final. Only Pelé had done that before. Mbappe became the first player in 56 years to score 3 goals in a World Cup final. Mbappe scored his penalty, but his teammates missed. Argentina won. Messi lifted the trophy. France lost. Mbappe stood there, watching. He had given everything. 3 goals, 1 penalty, 4 in total, but still lost. No tears, no tantrums. He stood, silent, strong, respected. He had lost the match, but won the world's heart. After the final, fans chanted his name, players hugged him, Messi praised him, legends tweeted about him. FIFA awarded him the Golden Boot, top scorer. But Mbappe didn't post emotional messages. He didn't cry on social media. He just posted, "We will return." This was not just football. This was life. This was character. This was power. Mbappe had faced Messi. 3 goals to come back. 1 billion eyes watching. Pressure of legacy. And still, he stood tall. Still humble. Still ready for the next war. Part 3. The power shift. Contracts, records, Real Madrid, and the future of football. When he came back to Paris in early 2023, he was not the same boy. He was more focused. He was more powerful. He was more silent. He was more respected. But behind that silence, a storm was building. Because deep inside, Mbappe had a secret. My future is not in Paris. Let's go back a little. Before the 2022 World Cup, Mbappe was very close to joining Real Madrid. He had dreamt of it since he was 14. He even met Zidane at 15. He watched every Real Madrid game growing up. The fans wanted him. The club wanted him. In May 2022, just before the summer transfer window, the world waited. And then it happened. Mbappe rejected Real Madrid. He signed a massive contract with PSG, €200 million signing bonus, €70 million per year salary, full control over image rights. Reportedly some influence in club decisions, coach signings. Some called it the biggest contract in football history. Let's be clear. Mbappe didn't reject Madrid out of arrogance. He stayed at PSG because of family pressure. His parents, especially his mother, were concerned about the pressure in Spain. President Macron's call. Yes, the president of France personally called Mbappe and said, "Please stay. You are the face of France. The country needs you." Imagine that. The president calling a footballer. That's the level of influence Mbappe had reached. Promise of change at PSG. They promised to build the team around him, to bring new players, to create a winning system. So he said yes, but in his heart. That yes was temporary. After the World Cup, PSG failed again in the Champions League. Neymar was injured. Messi looked disconnected. The club had internal problems. Fans booed Messi. The dressing room was divided. Mbappe looked tired, not physically, but emotionally. Whispers began. Mbappe wants to leave. He regrets rejecting Madrid. He feels alone. He doesn't trust PSG anymore. Then in June 2023, Mbappe dropped a bombshell. I will not extend my contract beyond 2024. The football world shook, because that meant he could leave for free in 1 year. PSG was furious. They said, if you won't sign a new deal, you won't play. They removed his name from squad photos. They didn't include him in Japan's preseason tour. They publicly humiliated him. But Mbappe didn't break. He smiled. He trained alone. He stayed silent. He was calm because he knew, I'm not fighting for money, I'm fighting for control of my own destiny. While PSG tried to pressure him, Mbappe played the long game. He refused to take a loyalty bonus. He waived millions in salary. He said no to Saudi Arabia's 700 million euro offer. Yes, Saudi club Al Hilal offered him 700 million euros for 1 year. Let that sink in. 60 million euros per month. 2 million euros per day. 83,000 euros per hour. But he rejected it. Why? Because money wasn't his goal. His goal was legacy. Meanwhile, Real Madrid stayed silent. No interviews, no drama, just quiet confidence. They knew, his heart belongs to us. Sooner or later, he will come. And then, August 2023, Mbappe returns to PSG's starting DF1. PSG realized, we can't bench our best player forever. They brought him back. And guess what? He started scoring, assisting, dominating. No hate, no revenge, just football. That's professionalism. Despite all the noise, Mbappe became Ligue 1's top scorer again, broke more PSG records, scored in Champions League, became the all-time leading scorer for PSG at just 24, passed Edinson Cavani's record, 201 goals. The club was still confused. The media was still screaming. But Mbappe? He was focused. Behind closed doors, there were secret talks. Mbappe told PSG, I won't sign a new deal. Let me leave for free in 2024. PSG agreed. And so, in February 2024, the biggest story finally broke. On June 3, 2024, it became official. Kylian Mbappe signs for Real Madrid. He would join in July, wearing the white jersey, playing at the Bernabeu, next to Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, and Camavinga. A dream 10 years in the making. Finally, real. Mbappe was offered. More money in Paris, more control in PSG, bigger salaries in Saudi, global fame in Paris. But he chose legacy. He chose the pressure of the Bernabeu. He chose the path of legends. Because Real Madrid is not just a club. It's a cathedral of greatness. And Mbappe didn't want to be just rich. He wanted to be remembered. He didn't post flashy videos. He didn't say, I told you so. He just posted, a dream come true. Ready for the next chapter. The world is now waiting, because this is not the end. This is the beginning of a new era. Part 4. The legacy of Kylian Mbappe, the boy who became a global language. Behind the noise, the records, the lights. Mbappe is still that little boy from Bondi. He still visits his old neighborhood, still hugs kids who run up to him, still signs autographs for hours, still brings food for homeless shelters without telling the media. He said, I know where I come from, and I will never forget it. This is rare. Fame often changes people. But for Mbappe, fame made him more humble, not less. Let's break down what makes him so unique. He is obsessed with learning. Not just football, life. He reads, he studies, he watches legends, he asks questions. He once said, every day I try to become 1% better. He protects his energy. No nightclub addiction, no scandals, no fake friends, no attention-seeking behavior. He keeps his circle small, his family, his lawyer, his mental coach, his best friend, His younger brother Ethan. He doesn't play the fame game. He avoids social media arguments. He doesn't reply to hate. He doesn't post luxury to flex. He posts purpose. He once said, "People know my name. That's not important. What matters is whether they respect my work." Thierry Henry. At 19, I was just trying to survive. Mbappe was winning World Cups. Messi. He's a beast, impossible to stop. Zidane. He has everything: speed, vision, intelligence, but most of all, character. Cristiano Ronaldo. He reminds me of myself when I was young. That's no small praise. People see the goals, but they don't see the grind. Here's his actual daily routine, simplified and translated. 6 a.m. Wake up. He doesn't use alarm clocks. He wakes up naturally. Says the mind should wake before the machine. 6:30 a.m. Cardio, sprints, HIIT, agility drills, even when it's raining. 8 a.m. Nutrition, protein, greens, water, no sugar. He eats for energy, not for taste. 10 a.m. Training with team. 2 p.m. Recovery, stretching, ice bath, breathing work. Sometimes visualization. He sees goals before he scores them. 4 p.m. Reading or learning. He reads about leadership, history, and psychology. 6 p.m. Relaxation. Yes, he plays FIFA. He even plays as himself sometimes, just for fun. 10 p.m. Sleep, no phone, no screen, no light. He believes deep sleep is secret recovery. Most goals in World Cup final history, 4 goals. Top scorer in World Cup 2022, 8 goals. Over 280 professional goals before age 26. Over 100 assists. Over 20 individual awards. Golden Boot, World Cup winner, Young Player of the Year, French Player of the Year, multiple times. All-time top scorer of PSG, and now wearing the white of Real Madrid. What Mbappe teaches the world, even if you don't like football. Control your story. Don't let others decide your path. Not media, not society, not fear. Speak less, do more. He rarely talks trash, he just performs. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. His quiet leadership is more respected than shouting egos. Discipline beats talent. Every day, every hour, he trains like he's still hungry. You can come from anywhere. Bondi was not Paris. Bondi was not rich. But from there, a world icon was born. Kids in Nigeria scream, "Mbappe," while playing in sand. Teenagers in Japan watch his training videos. Streets in South America paint murals of him. Schools in India teach English using his match interviews. Hollywood celebrities wear his jersey. Journalists write books about his mind. Fans say his name with love, hope, and fire. He's still young, only in his 20s, and yet, he's already a world champion. He's already a global brand. He's already a cultural icon. He's already an example for the next generation. What's next? Win the Champions League with Real Madrid. Lead France to another World Cup. Win the Ballon d'Or. Become the face of modern football. Maybe become more than an athlete. Maybe a leader for change. Kylian Mbappe is not just fast. He's not just talented. He's not just rich. He's not just famous. He is disciplined, smart, grounded, purposeful, emotionally intelligent, and deeply human. He is a reminder that your story doesn't have to begin in luxury. It just has to begin with belief. This was the full story of Kylian Mbappe, a story of a boy from the streets of Bondy, who carried France on his back, who faced hate with grace, who said no to money, and said yes to legacy. A story that inspires, a story that teaches, a story that will live forever. If this story inspired you, subscribe. This story was not just football, it was life. It was English practice. It was power. Thank you for being part of this journey. And remember, you are not just watching legends. You are becoming one.